back on OpenLine talking about haunted Nashville and talking with somebody on one of these ghost tours who leads ghost tours around the city. And I want to ask you, Mick, who goes? So is it all tourists? I would think it's mainly tourists. Any locals go, or who do you see go on these things?
I would say it's probably almost an 85-15 split between tourists and locals. And even then, some of the locals are a little bit more extended. So this past weekend, I actually had somebody from Maryville join my tour. So you know, not exactly East Nashville, but still relatively in our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
But the locals are always very fun to interact with because not only do they have a lot of their own stories that they bring to the table, but they like get excited because all of this stuff's in their own backyard, right?
Absolutely. So, and what is a tour like? How many people are on it generally? I guess give us an overview, a sense of what to expect.
Right. Typical tour will kind of have between 10 to 22-ish people on there. So the max is 25. So on this big weekend, you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of guides with just the fully booked 25 guests. But it's mostly just kind of walking through a few blocks of the downtown area. Just about, maybe a mile, maybe a little bit more or less. But we cover a lot of the history and a lot of stories in about a 90-minute time period. So we could obviously do a lot longer, but you kind of would get a little bit tired after that point. So it's
about 90 minutes long? You kind of walk around for 90 minutes?
Right.
Interesting. And is there more material than you can get to? I mean, is it different on different nights and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. You kind of almost have to, just depending on the downtown crowds, you kind of have to almost adjust your schedule. So we have the party buses rolling by certain places. You're like, okay, maybe I can't cover this stop, but I can cover the next 2 stops. And of course, there's more material than there is time in the day. So
I'm trying to think. I have this list here of the most haunted places. Okay, the Hermitage Hotel. Seems like hotels, right? Are hotels just haunted? What's the deal with that?
Hotels just kind of, they run a big gamut of, people who go to hotels with high expectations, people who are traveling, starting a new life. And of course, they move into a hotel for a bit as they settle things, just look for their home. And they're obviously got high expectations. They've got some high emotional energy to them. Sometimes, of course, you have the more negative sides of hotels. Which is people, who are down on their luck and they have, they've been kicked out of their home, or they have had some very bad incident, like maybe they're visiting in town because a relative of theirs is sick and that's where they kind of got to stay. So hotels have a lot of, and just also the constant influx of people coming and going means a lot of just sort of this energy coming and going as well. With a house, you kind of have stable family there for X amount of years, right? But a hotel just constantly booming. So you get kind of people from all walks of life and they decide to sometimes never check out.
All right, well, so now, never check out. All right, we only have like 30 seconds. So is this something you enjoy?
Sure.
You must enjoy this.
Absolutely. I love this job and I love the people and love learning about Nashville. So.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing some of it. I mean, it is fun to talk about. So thank you, Mick Woodward. He's a tour guide with Ghost City Tours. Ghost City Tours. So, Mick, thank you. And we will take a break, come back, and wrap everything up right after this.